Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition. Wanted to just pause and come back out here to make sure it says an hour and 13 minutes of game time so that I can applaud the game for working correctly and not counting all the time that I'm paused against me, because it certainly has been more than an hour and 13 minutes that I've been sitting on paused. Okay, so the way this feels is that this overworld is going to be depicted mostly on one map, and unless we get a light and dark world element to this, it's going to be relatively small as far as this area is in square footage. Now, it might be a case that we need 2 points now to get up to this point, so it's going to be 6 points that we need to basically stock up on. It might be a case that we do unlock more things to give us more room, but it also feels very believable that every little platform is going to try and every little puzzle jump section here is going to try to do its worst to me. And that certainly coincides with what's happening here. This is quite the challenge that we're getting thrown at here, just to cross a pool of poisonous water that I think we'll probably clean up at some point. And they're probably trying to introduce the concept of poisonous water early in the game so that we don't really have to we don't have to really deal with it later on. So it might very well disappear as an item. Alright, I was thinking that there might be something over in that area, but I guess not. So what is this? We just kind of have like a wall here. Some kind of switch activated thing. Alright. But then you do these platform jumps and they don't really work the way you would want them to, because you're then in this kind of weird scenario where you're getting attacked. Also feels like we should have been allowed more of a map. And yeah, until I just have some extra points to start upgrading the attacks, this really is just going to be a lot of button mashing. The good news is, when I do get health, that I don't have the soul fragment. This is the new explosive thing, which is holding X. And it did seem to blow up something in that area. Now, we don't have any kind of air braking in this jump, so I can't really turn around and jump against this wall and then hope for an air dash to get up to that area. So yeah, I just don't think I can get up there. There is an air dash ability, however, by the time I get around to doing it, it might be quite a while. This still just feels extremely, extremely awkward. A really, really awkward system here of jumping and platforming and pressing X. Alright. Okay, so guess what we want to do is go down this way first. It sure doesn't feel right, however. Like, it feels like finding that map piece should be a default item that would just unlock the map. Like, not an item that you have to collect and then run backwards with. Yeah, I do think our health is in a good position now where we can kind of play a little bit worse. You're still definitely not gonna be able to play this as a kid on easy mode though. This totally feels like a game targeted towards more experienced gamers. That is a lot of map. A lot of map taking me in a direction that I probably have to go to get to the spirit well and get some kind of ability. Is there any kind of spirit tree indicator? No. And once we have the full ability to start teleporting between different places, because I guess I could at this moment teleport back to the previous area in the game. It probably wouldn't help me much. Right, so do we want to go that way? Or I think I kind of want to go. Ooh, that could be a lot of progress lost. Yeah, not only is that progress lost as far as just grinding for experience, that's progress lost for the map, which we now don't have. That's progress lost for everything. I was wrong to assume that I could play badly and maybe get away with it. This is a weird experience because it almost, the way it resets and the way you have to manually save almost dares you in a weird way to not bother to grind, because then you have to grind very possibly twice as much just to I've gotta save this because I'm gonna die almost certainly. Yep. And yeah, there's no way to get over to that part without getting more health. Alright, so we're just gonna kind of ignore those until we can get some health. There we go. Still need one more thing. Did that save the game when you walk over those things? I don't think it does. So we'll just save here. We clearly can't go any higher. And I also kind of assume that if I just hold on to my ability points, I'm still fine. These are the guys that break into the little things and can be a nightmare. Particularly if I just stand around and do nothing while they're attacking me. I feel like I missed something. Feels like I was gonna work my way up or down this direction, not to the left. Yeah. So there's a thing here that can be blown up. Can I blow up those things? No. So I'm missing that ability so far. There's a thing over here that kind of feels like you're not supposed to be able to reach this area. I think I can actually blow this up, but I don't have the blue energy. And how long does it take for the blue energy to recharge if you just stand in one place? Seems like either an infinite amount of time and you can't do that, or a really, really long amount of time. I can press up and I can press down, which caused enemies to respawn. Yep, I can't blow that up right now. Was that a guy that was supposed to potentially blow up and break the thing? Break the floor lower? And whatever those are shooting, ooh, a whole laser thing. So do I want to deal with that to potentially get like one more health thing unlocked? Are there health doors? No, I'm only seeing energy gates. So, yeah. This is just the wrong direction, and it seems like the game will just let you go in the wrong direction. Also feels like we're going to approach having an ability very close to the ability to fly. We already tried to blow that up and it didn't work. And they seem to have a bit of a fetish here of showing you things you can't reach at the moment. There we go. So, yeah, quite the waste of time. And we can see how there's just going to be these iterations of just complete and total iterations of enemies that get stronger and stronger and stronger. Yeah, I can't get up there. And there's not really a reason to blow this up. But it stinks nonetheless that you can't blow it up. So save after we get the map and back through this direction. I can't help but feel like I'm making even less progress than I normally would playing a game. And they're doing the foreground trick of monsters in the foreground too often. It's a little too artsy fartsy and not enough just actual thought as far as not enough thought in actual gameplay, because I am having this whole issue right now where it's cool and all that I'm seeing the nice animation, but then I'm having to suffer through what I kind of like. I'm trying to not just immediately like pee all over the way this plays, but it plays bad. It plays weird. But, alright, let's... Is there any way we could get over there? No. Alright, so... Is there any way we can get up there? No. So... I'm just assuming that we're going to push this rock out of the way. And then we'll come over here. And we have a soul well. Which that's nice and all. But isn't super useful. So then, am I supposed to just wedge myself between this and push it the other way? Or am I supposed to pull it back a little bit so I have some room? And we just push this the other way. Alright. This is gonna kill me. I've gotta get, I think, up on just a very narrow ledge to start doing wall jumps. And this is totally stuck, so can't really do anything more. Man, that sure doesn't feel like that's what it's supposed to be, what I'm supposed to be doing. Let's see. Well, I don't know if that was supposed to work that way, but it did. Did I just cheat the system, or is there literally no system here? If you told me that this is just a very under play tested and under thought out idea, that I'd believe that. I totally missed that. It said something while Ori did something. I was too busy raging at the game. I guess this is mostly others gave in and embraced the darkness and fear. So, a bad guy. A Gumon from the Forlorn Rules. We must follow his steps. We must get what he stole. So we're trying to regain the water vein. Without the water vein, the Ginso tree is shut closed. So I don't know if the idea is that this would load into a whole sub-dungeon, and that's how this world is going to expand more. That would make sense. So you need 2 explosions to effectively take out those enemies. But the 2 explosions are coming directly from the price of admission, as far as the ability to save. We are about to get to one extra life ability. I don't know what standing on that would really do for me though. Am I in a trap? Or did I just get attacked by a standard collection of enemies? These do kind of seem like we're almost fighting something, but I'm not sure about it. Yeah. And you really don't have to charge that up too much. Alright. Energy efficiency. Energy pickups give 50% more efficiency. Next time we get ability markers that would show ability cells, which are super important, and then after those 2 ability points to unlock that, we need another 2 to get spirit efficiency, after which we can actually start to think about what we're going to try and pull off otherwise. Yeah, if there's anything collectible under there, I would totally die before that happens. And you kind of don't save the game the second time when you go into the ability elements, turns out. So we're still just kind of chasing that guy. Again, very fancy animation. Yeah, feels more like they wanted to animate to make a cartoon when they wanted to. They really wanted to have an experience, or have a good experience. Alright, so we need a couple of things broken. Well, what we're doing right now is having a puzzle that's releasing more of these things, and by releasing more of these things, darn it. How much did we lose in that? I don't think much. Just that we're gonna have to watch this cutscene again. Yeah. I can't help but have the feeling now, and I don't think it's premature to make this statement. It does feel like they're more focused on fancy animation than they are potentially. Yeah, I don't think I can go too far this direction. Yeah. I can go about this far, and that's about it. We're gonna have to get to the ability to break the ground or swim in the water before we can go any further than that. So we'll just save that since that made some progress. Next, we want him to hit this section, which then we want it to hit this section, break it for us. Again, probably a collectible that's inaccessible over in that area. They're trying to make this like a chase sequence, but then you run into the problem of you really can't have a chase sequence with a bunch of platforming puzzling also occurring. And now we're gonna get full just laser beams. I think we've even seen the laser beams before. And they are going to be one-hit kills. So we're gonna have to be very careful. And probably not overreact. Probably what we'll want to do. The question, I suppose, is this area. So we want to go. We want to wait till this is gone, and then we kind of want to run. So you barely have enough time here. Again, cutesy kids cartoons, and then incredibly difficult gameplay. I don't think I was supposed to do it that way. I think I was supposed to have to walk against the wall and glide. And by the time we get back to this area, getting through that is probably going to be relatively trivial. I wouldn't be surprised if it even is a case that it's not even deadly to get hit by the lasers later on. But, yep, we definitely would need a double jump to get to that collectible. Down this way looks like some things. Over this way looks like some spikes that we probably can't do anything with. It is such a weird way to play, to attack and then jump in kind of a loop. Again, yeah. It would be atypical for video game to have spikes not mean instant death. So I have no idea how you're supposed to really get through that area. And here's another spirit well to save your game at and refill your health, which it's becoming more and more obvious that, yeah, your health matters way more. I suspected that the map would get bigger and bigger and the bounds would increase as we move further, and that seems to definitely be the case. Although this overworld map does still seem to have quite a limiting factor to how big the game actually is going to be. Unless the game makes you run in circles and go to every area twice or more, which could happen, but I mean, we're almost certainly going to go through the entire map twice or more anyways. I think if I was to jump down here, this guy's just gonna come after me, and then I'm going to get smashed to death. Which, that's not the direction I should be going, clearly. Yeah, we are in a weird position where you're somewhat rewarded for taking the road less traveled and trying to save yourself some frustration. Okay, the gate opened, but that did take two things. Where? Should probably just save the game. So I open the gate for an area over here where I can get about that far, but that height wouldn't really help me. And yeah, there's nothing to collect over there that I can really collect. So I get booby trapped and I get thrown to his hideout. And we don't have the map piece. We do have a different palette color that we're seeing right now, which is nice. Clearly we're going to get double jump before we get out of this area. And then we'll just work our way towards a solution. Do I want to go down or do I want to go up? Typically it would be easier to go up than come back down. Alright, let's look here. Are you relatively safe? I think you are. You kind of even have like a bit of an edge. Just gotta make sure you don't get crushed. No safe spot. Now we have a safe spot. So we need 2 spirit gate keys. It's been a while since we've had to get a spirit gate key. There's one over there. So either I do a long jump when it's coming down, like this, and get hit once and then die, which I don't think counts towards progress, or I do something like this, collect this, and then get up against that wall to jump there. That's the problem now, is I gotta take out this guy. I have like half a energy now that we have energy efficiency, which you think would be more helpful, but it isn't. Still don't have enough. Well, it seems like back we go. Is the upper section gonna give me anything? No. May have to just jump to fit through there. So I guess it is down. The wrong directions seem to be. Alright. Alright. My soul link is still charging, so I can't. Where was the map anyways? Wasn't that way up there? Yeah, I think it was. So Map stone looks like a star shape scrawled on the stone. Yeah, so it is over there, so we could potentially try to get the map and work our way back up. Since it's not extremely difficult to work. There we go. This is a giant level. And yeah, there's no way I'm gonna be able to jump over there. Careful. There we go. And the game saved for me automatically, thank goodness for that, but I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing right now. This. We've got somebody that's just attacking me. The spider creature stamps his feet and has this guy throw things at me. I assume the general idea is because we want him to like break this wall. But that doesn't seem like that's gonna work. Let's see. I can get enough energy for 1.5 and don't know what it's doing. What it thinks it's doing. There goes my one explosion. Which, if I needed more energy, one would assume I would have to have it. Yeah, there's really no way I'm gonna get all the way up here and get him to attack me and hit that door. So this really just has to be run and see if you can hit him. Wow. That is it. Bombs on the floor, so avoid touching the floor. Fight these guys like there's no tomorrow. We're on easy mode, and easy mode's still not good enough. I don't think I can ever move fast enough. I kind of have to run under him and then avoid his attack. So you kind of run away so he doesn't attack you when he comes up, then you run under him, and so you can't really do it while you're in a corner. I have yet to upgrade my attack ability at all, and this boss fight really introduces the idea that that needs to be upgraded. But I think it's still kind of more logical to try and get as much soul spirit energy efficiency as possible, because that speeds up all progress going forward. Where did the spider go? That was a real good question to ask, because he's not here. And that wasn't even enough soul energy to get me up a level. Alright. Nope, 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 nope. Be careful not to allow yourself to be crushed. I can't help but say that that was rough. That was definitely rough. And yeah, not a lot to say on the third time you go through this. Yeah, just doing the same thing we've done a couple other times. Open the spirit gate. And maybe we'll unlock something of importance. If not, yeah, there's a spirit tree, so we kind of are opening the door to every episode getting at least one ability. These guys are exploding, but they are not doing anything to actually hurt me, which is interesting. So either their explosions are very localized or seriously? I would have gone back a lot further had I not saved. But it actually saved in a weird way that was inaccurate, because it saved with me holding both of the keys to the door instead of with me oh man, this controls. You can totally feel that they want these controls to be super tight and for the player to get really good at platforming and all this, but they're not that tight. Like, in all fairness, maybe I am just getting old at this point, but they definitely don't feel very tight. They feel floaty and button mashy, as most of the time when you are thinking about jumping, you're also either preparing to do something else or just land in a very precise place. Yeah, and we're not going to even get too much story now. An ancestral tree Liru lay here. That doesn't sound like English. She was swift, agile, and used to cut through the air. So, were there creatures that turned into trees, I guess? I guess that's a general idea of what's going on. Now we've learned double jump. Yay. Super helpful. And with double jump, you now have this ability. It seems like it almost is depicting an attack that you got with double jump also. But that might really just be an indicator of a direction that you're jumping from. They got rid of the platform to make you use double jump. I might as well just save at the moment. Yep. Double jumps definitely solve a lot of bad platforming. Pretty much any platformer needs a double jump, if not a triple jump, if not a quadruple or infinite jump, just as a way of making it assurable that worse players can actually reach areas. Imagine we won't make too much more progress today. Let's see. Yeah, there seems to me like there's probably something over here, and it's probably not worth your effort. Alright. Darn it. So I am gonna have to take out these guys first, then save, and then do this. Which, that's a lot of jumping. May not actually be able to reach the area I need to reach. Here. Alright, no, you can do it. Alright. Yeah, the only way you're going to be able to take out these guys, though, is to try and get around them. We'll just easily jump down and then look at the map and make sure we didn't miss anything else, and then remember to save. I don't think, let's see, so now it's either double jump up this way to get to this. You still don't really have enough room to double jump all the way over there. So effectively this half of the map I think has been cleared out, although what was that? That's where we last saved. Moon Grotto, 35% done. Ability wise, we need one more point to unlock ability cells, which once we see the ability cells we'll kind of know when we look at a map whether we need to go in a direction or not, or at least it'll be a lot more helpful. And then we need 2 more points after we get the next point to get spirit efficiency, and we won't bother to really get these other ones. Instead, what we need to do is we need to make a little bit of a balance between increasing our attack, which will save us on the minute-to-minute fighting, which we do a lot of, and probably go up at most 4 abilities, since each one of those only costs 1 ability points. Then we need to start thinking about these abilities. Rekindle, reusing soul links to save, obviously very useful. Creating a soul link to restore a 1 life, very useful. Having the cost of charge flame might be useful, but air dash is totally going to be useful, and creating a soul link to restore 2 health wouldn't be terrible. Charge dash, being able to breathe in clean water would be useful. Having the cost of a soul link, yeah, not by the time we get to that one, it's gonna be not super useful, but triple jump would be very useful, and then just reduction in damage in total. but getting all the way to the end of this path to reduce damage really should be balanced out around the idea of just doing more damage in the first place. The thing mostly here is some of these explosions radiuses will be increased on these upgrades, but what I would like to see is an increase of just the distance of the quick flame, and there isn't an option for that. That's not available. Yeah, we are just shy of 2 hours of gameplay, and we got one more ability. If I was to guess, the next ability is going to be some kind of dash upward ability. Then this clearly looks like it's a parachute ability. This may be a ground pound ability. Yeah, if I was to guess, this is dash upward, ground pound, parachute. This probably is cling the walls. This might be an ability to land on the heads of enemies, which would be useful. This might be an ability to make your little wisp creature fly in separate directions, and this seems like this is just an instant run ability. Yeah. I guess there's not really too much more to say. We're just chugging along as usual on this game. Just hoping it doesn't devolve into too much frustration as I'm playing it on easy. This very possibly could be one of those games that mainstream video game journalists played for 2 hours to get the general feel of, and they saw the early prelude section and the animation and were so sold by that first 2-hour experience that they didn't bother to play the game as I think the creator of the game intended, which is to play it like a Metroidvania where you would try and collect 100% of all the collectibles. I think particularly in this case you kind of have to get all the collectibles, or at least most of them, because you're going to seemingly run into more and more difficult enemies with more and more life, and without the ability to use energy to checkpoint yourself and increase your life so that you can live longer, you're probably not going to be able to beat the final boss if you had only gotten a couple of life expansions or a couple of energy expansions, if you go out of your way to avoid them. And yeah, we still are at that point where it feels like the energy tanks, which I guess are supposed to be the equivalent of like super missiles from Metroid, it would be a lot nicer if that was not used to save and checkpoint, and you could either save and checkpoint yourself at any point with that, regardless of how much energy you have, or if the game just checkpointed you constantly. I mean, it really wouldn't be a big change in the code, because in the background, every time you press the button to save, it's checking to see if it's a valid save spot, and sometimes it will say enemies are nearby, or this is an unsafe location, so we won't save that. You could have the game just secretly, without notifying that, run that check, create a checkpoint, and if you happen to die, reload the character at that checkpoint, like so many other games do. It's ridiculous to make the player have to hold the B button down. And yeah, my thumb is getting pretty sore already, and we're nowhere near the end for all the button mashing this requires with just mashing X. Perhaps if there was a way to change the controls. Is there a way? Controller style. Nope, you don't get any button remaps here. Let's see. The light burst is something we don't have with the left bump. Charge jump is something we don't have right now. Navigate the menu or move with the left stick or D-pad. Yeah. I feel like you could switch the right trigger with X, and then you would be clicking with your finger on a trigger a lot more instead of mashing X, which you do a lot of. Bash with the Y button is not something we even have. A for jump is very standard. You wouldn't want to change that. Or you could have made the left trigger the spirit flame, and then then it would just take my left thumb and my left pointer finger to attack, while leaving my right thumb to press A to jump and press all the other buttons to attack, and then eventually right trigger to grab. So yeah, if I could remap the buttons, there's definitely a button remapping I would do to give my left hand a little bit more to do, since it is practically not even touching the controller half the time. When you're in a fight, you're doing a little to move around, but the camera is so zoomed out, you really aren't going to do tight dodges. You're going to do generic avoidance maneuvers. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.